a bit later, but then again, his other one was a bit earlier, so maybe it evens out. We'll figure out what's happening. Meanwhile, though, I think he's still struggling to recover from that. He's still struggling to recover from that harass in the beginning of the game with the double gates. I mean, you're almost forgetting at this point that this game started out with Stork just planting 2 gateways in his opponent's main. The fact that it's transitioned back to the normal game. Oh, this shuttle might be trapped. The shuttle's in a lot of trouble. He's going to fly right over the photon cannon. He drops his Zealot. Oh, another huge Reaver Scarab. Is he going to get another one? It's going to be close, and he does take out a bunch of stuff. 11 kills on that Reaver. I do not believe it. What kind of sick man is this? Is this man, Stork? He's just going around and completely destroying his opponent's economy. And I'm really interested to see what BeSt does now, because he lost probes early. He's losing probes here in the mid-game. I mean, logic suggests he's lose probes if he waits any longer. He's going to have to try to do something to come back from this, because if he keeps playing straight up, I mean, Stork is going to be just tearing him apart with these Reavers. And so, Reaver goes, he did take out the shuttle and the Reaver, though, and those 2 Zealots, so, I mean, not a total and complete loss for BeSt, but, I mean, that's a lot of probes. You really can't be losing that amount of economy in this matchup, PvP, where you're really going up against a ditto opponent, because he's got the same units as you. You gotta be able to either out-trick him, out-maneuver him, or out-macro him. And BeSt, one of his best abilities, the macro, has been taken away in this series so far by this amazing play of Storks, who also has pretty good macro. And then again, the idea about losing probes and stuff is that maybe you can macro your way back into it. If he can figure out a way to get a pitched battle in his favor, and right now he's looking at the undefended base of he's looking at the undefended base of Stork, and as I say that, he loads up a Reaver, see if maybe he can take advantage of that. We have a Forge going up there, a Forge going up for the for both players. Oh, the shuttle gets spotted there by the Observer. Bad luck, and the thing about it is, unless he was paying very, very close attention, BeSt is not going to know that he was spotted because that Observer was cloaked. Meanwhile, here we go. Perhaps a bit of a shuttle chase. Speed kicks in right now. We're going to see some speed shuttle play here, as they're both apparently going to try simultaneous harass upon each other. This is going to be pretty damn cool. Meanwhile, we have BeSt trying to break out of his base here. We have the Reaver coming in. He's going to launch a Scarab. Doesn't look like it's going to hit, though. It gets tied up and does not reach the probes. Meanwhile, bam, that's dead. Probe died a valiant death. Not quite enough to contain that Reaver there. So here, once this egg is out of the way, we're going to have a bit more of an open map. Ground units are going to be able to move through, at least into that area, so we're going to be able to see. Then, of course, Stork here as well is going to be taking care of some of the eggs. So this is a really creative map. This is why I always love playing, watching games on Plasma. It might be hell to play on. I mean, I don't know if I could play anywhere near, obviously. I mean, I know I can't play anywhere near this style, especially not on Plasma, but it's really fun, I think, to see pro gamers who spend their time and energy really trying to get the nuances of the map down and play it. So here we go. Stork has decided his route. He's going up to 7 gateways now off of his 3 bases, and he is going to try a ground campaign against his opponent, who is going to be now open to this ground campaign, as there is as we know now that these lurker eggs are gone, and there's going to be a slightly more open ground. Okay, here's BeSt's attempt to try to figure out a way back into the game. You just saw him expand into the right side of the map. If that right main goes undetected and he's able to get a fair amount of resources out of that, then he could be able to pick his way back into this, I think. Right now, I mean, as it stands, it's just, I mean, it seems fairly even, but I think that Stork's army must be bigger than BeSt right now. I mean, it can't be smaller considering how much damage he's done. The question is whether they're the right units. So he's got a lot of Dragoons, and he's got a couple of Reavers. If you get the Reavers off right, then you might be able to do something in terms of coming back. And, I mean, look at this. They're actually fairly even, and I would give the slight edge to Stork, but it's going to come down to this Reaver micro. We're going to see a battle here. I really hope we do. Yep, here we go. Observer taken down, and we see Goons exchanging fire. We see a big Scarab there, takes out a bunch of shield. We're going to see more Scarabs coming in. Right now, we have trouble getting Scarabs out of Stork, He's now launching against his opponent. Those two Reavers are going to try to pick off the other Reavers of their opponents. One Reaver goes down there for BeSt, and another Reaver is going to go down for BeSt, and Stork still has both of his Reavers and a couple of Goons. So a huge exchange of fire there. Goons go down left and right. But in the end, I would say Stork probably came out on top of that because he's got those two Reavers, and you just saw BeSt, who is really pumping Zealots, which either tells me A, he doesn't have a lot of gas, or B, he's trying to get very, very aggressive right now and try to get some speed Zealots into the fray. So we're going to see the space at the right has been allowed to be built. I'm not sure exactly how he plans on defending it. I think he's mostly going to be elemental surprise. Oh god, what one Storm could do there, a couple of Reaver Scarabs. That's exactly what Stork is thinking right now. Reaver Scarabs, of course, doing such huge damage and splash damage that it really doesn't matter how much armor those eggs have. They're going to go down quickly. Of course, those shots are costing him money, though. It's a small thing like interceptors, but it might add up over a bit of time. Here's another battle we have in this now newly opened chasm. We're going to have Reaver Scarabs coming out left and right, especially out of Stork here, who is the only one with Reavers at this point after winning that battle. High Templar might be best way of figuring out a way into this game again, but right now there's huge pressure being put on. The Reavers are going to be able to, if they can hit those Zealots, this game might be over right away because those Zealots are going to get torn up. The shields are going to be destroyed. Look at how quickly those Zealots melted. That High Templar's got to launch the Storm. He's got to take out some Reavers. One Reaver is down. He's got to take out the other Reaver. A second Reaver is, I believe, loaded up into the shuttle. Yes, and he's going to fire another shot. Here comes the Storm. It's going to be dodged for the most part by Stork. He's really on this game right now. The shuttle's flying over. He's going to be able to do some damage here to the economy, and he's going to take aim and... Oh! I do not believe the amount of economic harass that has taken place in this game, in this series by Stork, who's absolutely laying waste to the economy of BeSt. BeSt is having his best game taken away from him right now. Meanwhile, he's got one Reaver to try to even it back up, and he's going to do so, taking advantage of that small choke area. But more Zealots flooding in from those gateways. He had 7 at last count, and he might have added more. We have some Archons coming up now. I believe I just saw Reaver die as well. This is really bad news for BeSt. He's not going to give up prematurely because this is the last game, and he doesn't win this, and he is out of the OSL. But right now, there's nothing really he can do. There's another unit streaming, and all of a sudden, it's a dozen units for Stork that's going to be taking on the couple of BeSt and GG. That is it. Stork wins. BeSt is looking disappointed, and Stork is going to be going on to the OSL final so he can try to choke again, or rather, maybe, I don't know. If we're a Stork fan, let's be charitable and say that perhaps maybe he will not choke this time. So look at this, a huge victory for this man here as he defeats a Protoss who came in running a 16-game winning streak, recovered from 1-0 down to sweep the final 3 games of this series, and a very intense PvP clinic put on there. We got a little bit of everything. We had some straight-up games. We had some interesting cheeses. We had some really just great control, great macro, great Reaver harass, great economic harass. We saw more probes die in this series than probably happened in the entire lifetime of some games you see on IC Cup. Just a totally incredible performance, and really a great overall series. I'm glad that I took the time to commentate on it, even if I am really, really tired and it's 4 in the morning right now. So, everybody, please listen in, subscribe to my posts, see what we can do to try to get some notoriety on here on YouTube, and let's see if you like what you hear. Just keep listening. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna commentate the finals as well, so please, thank you for listening, and please listen to my other cast as well. This is Mr. Winkles SC signing off. Hope you had a pleasant time that you were watching this. Good night, everyone.